Namaste. Today I'm going to discuss about the topic chemical preservation and its toxic effects. So as we know that what are the preservative? Preservative are the substances which are used for the interruption to inhibit the growth of microorganisms. And these preservatives are added to the food material in small quantities, and they can be naturally occurring synthetic substances or any biological products, pharmaceuticals, paints, biological sample, wood, anything can be any preservative, and these inhibit the growth of microorganisms to the food material. These substances are added in very low quantities, 0.2% up to, and they do not alter the organoleptic nature. And this method is usually based on the combined or synergistic activity of several additives. They have most important intrinsic product parameters and extrinsic factors. It means that these preservatives have important role in developing the antimicrobial activity, and they do not allow the microbes to grow in the food material. Food additives are also added in small quantities, means these are added in small quantities which are necessary for inhibiting the growth of microbes. They are actually the part of the food material. Now we talk about the chemical preservative and chemical preservation method. The method in which the chemical preservatives are used is known as the chemical preservation method. And the purpose of using chemical agent as a preservative is to retard food spoilage caused by microorganisms. And the partial prevention of this spoilage can be achieved through the use of some refrigeration, drying, freezing. But if we want to lower the risk of preservation, lower the risk of contamination by the microorganism, lower the risk of food spoilage. Then, after completing all the things that the low temperature preservation and heat preservation, we add some chemical preservative in the food so that the food can be preserved very efficiently after all these treatments. So it is the final preservative. These are the chemical preservative are the final preservative. It protects the food after cooling and heating. And the chemical preservatives interfere with the cell membrane of the microorganism and their enzymatic activity and their genetic mechanism. They do not allow them to grow. Preservative may also serve as antioxidants. They can serve as stabilizers. They can serve as farming agents. They can react as a moisture retainers of the food. And the chemicals that function to preserve the food are generally added after food has been processed. Means the food is packed completely, and low temperature preservation is conducted, high temperature preservation is conducted, and canning and packaging is completed. And we added these chemical preservatives into the food, and they preserve the food after all these treatments. Certain preservatives have been used either accidentally or as intentionally for centuries and include sodium chloride, for example. This is a chemical preservative. Sugar is a preservative. Alcohol is a preservative. And in addition to these preservation, these compounds contribute to quality and identity of the products and are applied through processing procedures such as salting, curing, and fermentation, smoking. So, in the chemical preservative, some traditional chemicals food are all. added such as sugar and salts. How the sugar and salt preserve the food? Because if extreme some microbes cannot grow in the sugar contents, so it is preserved, and some microbes cannot grow in extreme salt conditions. So the food is already automatically protected. Similarly, some acidulants such as benzoic acid, sorbic acid, lactic acid are added to the food, and some gaseous chemical food made preservatives such as sulfur dioxide, sulfide, and carbon dioxide are added. Antioxidants such as BHA, BHT, propyl and some synthetic tocophenols such as vitamin E, ascorbic acid, lecithin are added to the food. And the other chemical preservatives include the color additives, flavor additives, sweeteners, and emulsifiers. First is table sugar and salts. Sugar is used to making jellies and harm, cured for curing of the jams. And salt is used for the brines and is directly applied to the food. The effect is to increase the osmotic pressure. The sugar is used to increase the osmotic pressure, and the cell growth of the microbe is inhibited by the organism itself. And the salt also causes dehydration by drawing out the line of water from the tissue. And salt added to the food also ionizes, yielding the chlorine ion, which is harmful to microorganisms and interferes with the action of the proteolytic enzymes. The more salt used, the greater the protection afforded by the food. Sugar preserving action is determined by the relation between the total sugar quantity in the finished food product and the total sugar concentration in the liquid base. The concentration of 60% in the finished product assures food preservation. Uh, Means that if we add 60% of sugar to the food material, the food material can be preserved because it is a very high concentration that the microbes cannot tolerate this concentration. Similarly, the food preserved with sugar, the water activity cannot be reduced below 0.8.5. And when the water activity is reduced, this value is sufficient for bacteria and neosmotic yeast inhibition. This value reduce the concentration of the microbes and do not allow the microbes to grow because of this sugar concentration. Now benzoic acid in the form of sodium salt constituent is one of the most chemical food preservative, and sodium benzoate is a common preservative in the acid or acidified foods such as fruits, juices, syrup, jams, jellies, sauerkraut, pickles, and it preserves the food cocktails also. Mostly, this benzoic acid inhibit the growth of yeast, and the yeast are inhibited by benzoate to a greater extent than molds and bacteria. Next is sorbic acid. Sorbic acid and its salt are practically tasted and odorless in food when used in the reasonable level, approximately 0.3%, and their antimicrobial activity is generally adequate. So they are added to the food. It is considered non-toxic and is metabolized among other common food preservatives. The WHO has set the higher acceptable daily intake of 20 mg per kg body weight for sorbic acid. Sorbets are used for molds and yeast inhibition in a variety of food, including fruit, vegetable, fruit juices, pickles, sauerkraut, syrups, jellies, jams, preserved high osmotic dehydrated food also. Next, potassium sorbate, a white fluffy powder, is very soluble in water, and when added to acid food, it is hydrolyzed to the acid form. Sodium and calcium sorbates also have preservative activities, but their application is limited compared to that for the potassium salt, which is employed because of its stability. Lactic acid is next, and it is the main product of many food fermentations, and it is formed by microbial degradation of sugar in products such as sauerkraut, pickles. The acid produced in such fermentation decreases the pH2 level unfavorable for growth of spoilage organisms such as some microbes, bacteria. So what does the lactic acid do? Lactic acid reduces the pH by which the microbes cannot grow, and sulfur dioxide and sulfides are added to foods such as dry food, fruit, pulse, juices, and molasses, and they conserve color, act as antioxidant, and control microbial growth. They are added to the food as antioxidants. And sulfur dioxide and its various sulfides dissolve in water and at low pH level yield sulfurous acid, bisulfite, and sulfite ions. And the various sulfide salts contain 50 to 68%, which lower the pH and do not allow the microbes to grow in the food material. In the past, cut fruits and the vegetable in salad bars were sprayed or dipped in the solution of the sulfides. Sulfur inhibit enzymatic browning also and keeps plant tissue fresh longer. So they are not only not only inhibit the growth of microorganisms, but they also keeps the life of the food material for longer time. Carbon dioxide is also used as a solid. It is also used in a solid form. Means it is used in the dry ice in many countries, and it used mostly for the storage. It is used mostly for the preservation of food so that the temperature of the food can be lowered, and besides keeping the temperature low, the gases CO2 inhibit the growth of psychotropic microorganisms and prevent the spoilage of the food. And when the microbes are not allowed, because some cyclophiles can grow at low temperature, but if the carbon dioxide is present, the carbon dioxide reduces the temperature also, which do not allow the cyclophiles to grow in the low concentration. The amount of CO2 is determined by the factors such as nature of product, variety, climate, and extent of the storage. Now, nitrates and nitrites is the chemical preservative. They also have been used as a preservative for the protection preservation of meats, and their use produces the cured meat flavor and helps stabilize the pink color. The nitrites prevent the growth of Clostridium botulinum. The Clostridium botulinum is a very dangerous toxin causing microorganisms, and these nitrates and nitrites are used for the inhibition for the growth of the Clostridium botulinum. Nitrate has the ability to react with amino acid also, and these compounds have been reported to include liver cancer in animals. So they have some toxic effects also. These nitrates have some toxic effects because they can react to the amino acids. Now antioxidants are added to the food which are beneficial in the preventing Density in fats and foods containing fats, and fat is exposed to light, moisture, heat, and heavy metals ions become activated and oxidize to peroxidize. The most used antioxidants are butylated hydroxy anisole (BHA), BHT, ascorbic acid, and lecithin. They are mostly used antioxidants. Now, color additives are also added to the food material, which are essential for the maintaining the quantity and standardization of the food material. In order to improve the color of the food, colorant are added to carbonated beverages, frozen dessert, and some dairy products. Some additives are also added to the food because because of the some canning processes and other processes, the flavor of the food can be lowered. So the flavor is also added so that the food cannot lose its original flavor. So we add also the flavors. For example, the banana oils, whatever the flavor of the food, we add the artificial flavor to the food material. Sweeteners Sweeteners are also added to the food to enhance the taste. The nutritive sweeteners contain calories because they are metabolized by the body to produce energy. Examples of nutritive sweeteners include the sucrose, glucose, which include the dextrose, fructose, and inward sugar. Emulsifiers. Emulsifiers allows the molecules that are mutually antagonistic, such as water and oils, to mix together. Suppose that in the food material, the water and oil are not mixed together and they get separated in the food material. But if they are separated, then we cannot prepare the food properly. So we add emulsifiers so that the water and oil can be mixed together. So it is a preservative which allows the some antagonistic mixture to come together. One of the most used emulsifier is lecithin, which is found naturally in the milk, eggs, and soybean. Alcohol and formaldehyde are also added to the food for their preservation. The ethanol is a natural Ethanol is naturally present in most of the food materials, such as vanilla and lemon extract. They are pressured by the content of the food material. Similarly, the beer, wine are also present in the beer. Also have some alcohol content in their composition, and they protect the food material from the spoilage by the microorganism, because alcohol is the one of the most important uh, antimicrobial uh, chemical agent, and when it is present in the food, it will definitely uh, inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Similarly, methanol is poisonous and should not be added to the food. We must escape by adding the methanol, and propylene glycol has been used as a mold inhibitor and as a spray to kill airborne microorganisms. Next is formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is not added to the food except in some constituent of the wood smoke. So they are added in the wood smoke process. Now we talk about the wood smoke. Uh, Wood smoke is mostly conducted for the preservation of food, because smoking of food usually has two main purposes: adding desired flavor and preservation. So Both the things are conducted using the wood smoke. When we smoke, uh, we provide the smoke to the food. The food will have a particular desired flavors, and similarly, due to this smoke, the microbes cannot be grown, and the microbes which are present in the food material can also be removed. The desirable effects may result in improvement in the color of the of inside of meat, loss of outside, and tenderization action of meats. So they are improved and preserved. Smoke is obtained from the burning of wood, and like hardwood such as hickory, corn cobs, or other material, we burn the wood, and this the smoke of this wood is necessary for preservation of food. The other woods such as apple, oak, maple, beech, birch, walnut, and mahogany are also used as a wood smoke. Similarly, some spices and other condiments are also added to the food, such as cinnamon and cloves are added to the food so that the food can be protected. So these all are the chemical preservative which preserve the food material. These all are the benefits of the food preservative, but there are some negative effects of the food preservative, such as some of these chemical food preservative can contact to the food material also. Some of them can cause the cross connect to the uh, canning material, such as the tins, aluminum. They can contact to the material and can cause the toxic materials also. Some of the materials which are not necessary in higher quantities can cause lethal effects. They can cause the toxic effects to the humans, such as nitrous oxide. Nitric acid can bind to the amino group, and when the amino group they are bind to the amino group of the food material, they can cause the cancer to the humans. So these all are the toxic effects of the chemical preservatives. So our lecture is over here. Thank you very much.